According to the New York Times, President Trump's new proclamation imposing a $100,000 fee on H-1B visas has left Wall Street banks, tech giants, and startups scrambling to understand what it means for their employees. The White House clarified that a fee will apply only to new applicants, not current visa holders or renewals. Still, companies like Microsoft and JP Morgan had already warned workers abroad to return to the U.S. before the rules took effect. Goldman Sachs called it an uncertain time as lawyers rushed to interpret the order. Immigration attorneys described chaos, with one saying, quote, "We're still flying in somewhat foggy conditions." Critics fear the steep fee will price out smaller companies, slow innovation, and weaken the U.S. in the global competition for top talent. What's the real message here? Putting a $100,000 price tag on getting a visa to come work in the United States is despicable. It makes us look like a mob-run restaurant from a good movie from the 1970s. This is not what America is about. This is turning capital, cronyism, pay for play into every aspect of our brand, and it's making us look like garbage. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. You got to feel sorry for a lot of these big tech companies. They are trying to continue fueling our whole economy, which is what they're doing. I mean, you look at the top 10, just 10 companies in the United States now account for about 40% of the stock market and gigantic swaths of all the gains. If you have any kind of an index fund or a mutual fund or a retirement account, so much of your wealth is tied up into really a handful of big tech companies. And they're not saying we don't like Americans, we hate Americans, we're not. No, they all have thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans. But sometimes they need to hire somebody who, I don't know, got a PhD from Oxford and is a brilliant genius at AI, and they are perhaps a citizen of England or India, and we need them. This makes it more difficult. It's chaos. It also sends a message to brilliant people around the world and successful people, ambitious people, climbers, a lot of people like you, that, the United States is not really the place. Maybe you should think about going to Canada. Canada is very inviting to smart, ambitious, educated people like you. Maybe just stay in your own country and bring that wealth back to yourself is another option increasingly these days. So businesses, regardless of whether an individual business person consider themselves a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, a Green, a Constitutionalist, regardless whether they consider themselves liberal, conservative, right-wing, the one thing that's consistent is they like stability. They like to know what the rules are. They like to know, okay, if I'm going to compete in this game of capitalism, I want to know what the rules are so I can make plans of what I'm going to do today, tomorrow, 6 months out, a year out. And it's increasingly difficult for any business person in America to do that because no one knows what sort of whimsical, capricious nonsense is going to spin out tomorrow. What part is just nonsense like, oh, we're going to take over Panama or Greenland? And what part actually takes place, like we're going to put 100% tariffs on certain countries we don't like, or we're going to put tariffs on a country that has no human beings living there. Some of these crazy ideas are put into action. Some are just floating out there, never to be seen or touched again. It's creating massive chaos for business people across the political spectrum. It doesn't matter if you live in a so-called red state or a blue state. If you don't really know what your tariff is going to be in any one day or not, if you don't really know if an employee that you'd love to hire is going to be able to work in your country very long, the prudent thing to do, the safe thing is just hold off. Let's hold off on hiring. We don't know if demand is going to slow down because of all this chaos with tariffs. We don't know if our employees can stay. Let's just sit on things and do nothing for a while. And that is increasingly what companies are doing. Are we in a recession right now? No. Am I saying I want one? No. Am I predicting one in the next 2 months? No. But a lot of prominent economists like Paul Krugman, the Nobel Prize winner, they are pointing out a lot of economic indicators are showing a slowdown. This current administration inherited one of the most successful, one of the most dynamic, arguably the most successful economy in the world, which is where the United States was on January 20th, 2025. And a lot of things have gotten worse since then. So we'll see if this instability, if this chaos continues.